What's up, guys? Your boy J Bob's here on the call today for Man versus Men, Week 7. As you guys can see right now, I'm just kind of messing around a little bit in the league for a bit, having some fun with. Oh, I wasn't expecting that. Um, just messing around here a little bit with my team here. We're not going to play this week because Serious Biz is in Vegas, and that would be our opponent. So I'm just kind of messing around a little bit, get some XP for my players here. My defensive line could be better now that Eric Donald's gone. So that was a linebacker. So just kind of messing around a little bit here. Things I haven't done a whole lot since I started playing this Madden. Because usually I'd get on for a game and I wouldn't have practice done yet. So getting an actual opportunity to do this before the stream. I mean, don't worry, we'll still be on time. I mean, the original scheduled time for the stream was 5 Eastern. Not very good at man coverage, especially with the safety on the best wide receiver on our team. Dang. Yeah. You can tell I suck at man coverage. That's why I don't ever play man coverage or user man coverage. I mean, to be fair, this is a safety on a wide receiver. It's just not fair. And this is just not fair. And like I would just play back a little more if I could. Oh, of course. Yeah, I can tell you. I'm not great at man coverage. I just wait for everyone to get on here, so I'm not starting officially yet. And they just if Stafford could throw the ball like that in the real game. That would be amazing, though. Could not reach it. Oh, okay. I was gonna say. Trying different things here, but doesn't seem to be working. I mean, I've done this before with Jordan Fuller. I just don't know how to do man coverage. I'm not good at it. I mean, I'm not good at this game in general, so I'll be the first to admit. Yeah, put the controller down after that one. Ah, oh, can't guess the route. Dang. Oh, it's the same route that Ayuk ran against Newsom last week with the Browns. Oh, there we go. We got pick. There we go. Oh, it's always over my head. It's just perfect throw. Do that in a real game, Matthew. Do that in a real game. Please. Like I said, this is just unfair. They make it so it's like the best receiver, and I'm playing with man coverage with safety. Just having to make a tackle before he gets tutty. There's that little dig, putting his foot in the ground again, just cutting outside. It's that little route again. Cooked already. Like, can they put me on a tight end or something? Not the number one receiver on the team with a safety. Like, I thought I could actually get to that one. I guess not. No. Oh. Thought I bumped them enough there. It's that route again. And I missed the tackle. Yeah, I'm not doing so hot right now. Yeah, make all those throws in a real game. I have not seen him make those throws consistently for me in a real game yet. He just outruns me every time down the field. That time he got me out of my shoes. Oh, I even saw it coming and I overran it. Oh, or just go deep. Or just... You gotta be kidding me. Gets me. Anything that goes to the outside gets me every time. We got 441. We got some time still to keep running this until we gotta start. Might start here in a few minutes. You know what? We're not gonna start like that again. Ugh. It's never gonna start like that. Gotta watch for that outside break. Twice in a row. Twice in a row. I don't give me a touchdown saving tackle on that one either. I will on this one. He was going... It's going for the verts anyways. Oh, of course. Of course. And then he breaks the tackle. Oh, no way. Oh, no way. Oh, no way. Okay, this game's just cheating now. Give me that. I went for it. It's been my best performance so far via one interception. And it's all I can make is one play per time, per attempt. Oh, don't get credit for that tackle. Safeties are not meant to play man coverage, especially on number one receivers. Dang, I got an incompletion. Oh, he got me out. He got me leading inside. That time he got me leading outside. Maybe I can get bronze here. Nope. Not on that. Gotta try again. Two more attempts. Two more attempts. I don't know what that was. I'll admit that was bullshit that it gave me any points there because it was not a tackle. Cooked again. Cooked again. Didn't get credit for that one though. Give me that. Read that drag route all the way. Nope. Okay. Okay, this might be the one. Oh, just a bit out of reach. You know what? I'm going to take that and run away with it. So I think it's the best I can do for now. Alright, we're going to officially get this thing started. Well, we have a couple League of Ordinary Gentlemen games going on right now, so that might take down the amount of live viewing we have. But that's okay. People can come back and watch on the archives. That's the great thing about using YouTube, permanent archive. That's why I use it over Twitch at the end of the day. So let's go ahead and jump into things. Well, not before I get a swig of water here. And also not before I back out of this completely. Oh, well. Hold on. Well, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this real quick, too. I'm sorry, I keep delaying. So this week I'm kind of noticing a little bit of a bounce back. Some people actually made picks. Last week I had nobody making picks. That was a little disappointing. I mean, I understood that I wasn't around for 2 weeks. And that could have had something to do with it. That's why I didn't just cut the series off completely after that. So I tried to get everybody back on board, and I mean, we didn't have many people before, so I wasn't like expecting a huge rebound, but we got enough of a rebound where I could show up here today and actually have a legitimate broadcast. Looks like we have 5 people picking consistently. I was hoping for more, of course. Keyword here is hoping. Um, but with that being said, let's go ahead and run down the last few weeks here as as I have not been around in a little while here. So, especially for League of Ordinary Gen, or especially for men versus men, it's been since week 4. So week 4, that was a relatively uneventful week, if I remember correctly. No major upsets or anything in week 4. Week 5. So I'll explain here. So week 5, I actually used a coin flip to replace Madden, and that probably should not have been the case. And like I thought through that after week 5, and I was thinking it shouldn't have had a coin flip because, yeah, theoretically games could go either way. You would think they'd be 50-50, but they're not. They are not 50-50. Like you see spreads that are designed to make it so it's 50-50 on betting, but the spread favors one team, and these are just pick'ems. So we know it's lopsided. But I replaced some of the coins because I couldn't think of anything better at the time. I had a couple people make picks in week 5, so I did use those. But in week 6, nobody picked, and I replaced Man with the TPS Madden simulation, which was a lot better because obviously they do their own simulation. They do it with their own rules, though, and they don't do it with full commentary like I do. They do kind of go through their picks similar to how I do, but they don't like full on commentate like the last 2 minutes of any of those games they simulate. They just kind of run it down real quick, try to keep their videos short, which I don't blame them. But this is a live stream, so the rules are a little different. And then I replaced you guys who did just absent last week. That'll be the last time I'll fire shots. Replaced you guys with the TPS community poll that they released last week. Well, they released it every week, but that's what I used to replace you guys last week. So this week, no replacements. I'm here, Madden's here, and some of y'all are here. So enough of y'all where I could use your guys' picks here. But anyways, week 5, the Bears got their first win, and there was my team, the Browns, were on the bye, so I didn't get to say anything about my team being on the bye, losing to the bye week. We used to say that all the time when we were really bad, but you guys picked LA Rams, the two of you that were picking that week, and the coin flip for Madden also picked the Rams. So, yeah, I mean, reality, if it was a full-on stream, I think everybody would have picked the Eagles to win. That was just one of those weird ones. And then, like, also the two of you picked Dallas over San Francisco. I mean, I know there's a lot of Cowboys fans, but I think enough of them would have at least been realistic to say that. Like, at least been realistic enough to say, hey, like, we're not beating this team. But the Browns in week 6 did that, and even I didn't have the Browns winning in week 6. I will admit, I picked against my team for once. Usually, you don't see me picking against my team too much. But I picked against them, and well, you could say it came back to bite me in the ass, but I'm happy that they won, of course. It was like a 2-year-old kid on Christmas when Jake Mooney missed that field goal. So, a big upset week 7, but of course, like everybody else is also going to point out the Jets beating the Eagles and taking down the last 2 undefeated teams in week 6. Browns and Jets, of course. How about the Giants fighting on Sunday Night Football with the Bills? I mean, it was a clean sweep across the board. And quite frankly, the Giants were 1 yard away, and maybe another penalty flag would have helped them out there at the end. The penalty flag that should have come out. The TPS pollsters for the Monday night game picked the Chargers, but Madden and I picked the Cowboys. So there were, I mean, like I'm just going through the picks as well because like obviously there was no streams for week 5 or 6. So Like I was just giving some rundowns on some surprising picks that were made. But yeah, without further ado, I'll go into our standings now. Our first update of the season. I have not done I have not done a cumulative update so far. Um, Before I say that, men actually in week 4, the last time we streamed, had 14 wins out of 16 games. That was impressive. I mean, in week 1, they only had 4 wins. Let me scroll up and make sure that's correct. Yeah, 4 wins in week 1. But they came back. I mean, they've come roaring back in weeks 3 and 4. The 3 they had 11 wins. In week 4 they had 14 wins. Before I had to replace them, coin flip got them 6 wins. Yeah, that you guys can call me out for that one, but not to worry. I don't know if it would have affected things too much. You guys got 7 wins. I got 8 that week. And then last week was the first time I actually did the worst of everyone. I got 8 wins. You guys with the replacement pollsters got 9, and then men got 10. So the cumulative standings now, I sit in the lead with 58. And then you guys and Madden are tied at 54 total victories. So, like, yeah, like this computer system, sometimes, I mean, it sounds stupid sometimes, but it does make some pretty bold picks, and some of these bold picks have come through for Madden, especially after week 1. I mean, who would have thought that the Texans would have beat the Jaguars way back in, what was that, week 3? Yeah, Madden picked that. Madden picked that upset to happen back in week 3, and little did we know the Texans might actually be of some substance this year. But, well, we don't know. It's still CJ Stroud's rookie year, and also, excuse me. We'll go ahead and jump in now to our actual week 7 picks. As it's now close to 5 Eastern here. 6 teams are on bye. Let me pull up the list of the teams that are on bye, teams that you will not be seeing here today. If I pull up the NFL here, it will show me. All right, so the Carolina Panthers, who are winless, are on a bye. They might lose to the bye week even. Cincinnati Bengals, Dallas Cowboys, Houston Texans, New York Jets, and Tennessee Titans, all on their byes here in week 7. It is the largest bye week so far. I believe there's at least one more bye week, or one more week where there are 6 teams on bye. Next week we'll go back to having 16 games briefly because there are no teams on bye for week 8, which is surprising. But anyways, now we'll get started. We have the Jacksonville Jaguars hosting. Is that correct? That is backwards. I just realized that is backwards. I'm like, that is not right. I feel like that is not right. I knew I had a feeling I'd make that mistake at some point. So we have the Jacksonville Jaguars traveling to New Orleans to play the Saints tonight, and I can't believe I messed that up. So I hope you guys picked according to the team names and not who's the home team. I'm assuming you guys did. But anyways, so Jacksonville Jaguars, last time I streamed, they were 1-2. And they were in some doo-doo, to say the least. But off they went to their home away from home in London to host the Atlanta Falcons, and that's where they kind of found themselves. And then they stayed there because the Buffalo Bills gave up a home game to play there against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, given that that crowd was definitely pro-Buffalo, so at least they had a lot of fans there, but the Jacksonville Jaguars were already there. Their jet lag was over with, and the Bills were not over their jet lag. And the Jacksonville Jaguars took full advantage of that and beat Buffalo in London. And then last week, of course, they pulled off the victory against the Indianapolis Colts as well, against their former quarterback Gardner Minshew. So now they get to face Derek Carr and the New Orleans Saints, and Derek Carr has been a very inconsistent quarterback, to say the least. In fact, if anything, he might not even be inconsistent. He might just be straight up bad now. And it's been quite surprising. But the one good thing the Saints have going for them is that they are still in the NFC South. Right now, that is being led by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers still, who had a surprise start, but now they seem to be coming back, crashing down to earth. But I don't think this game is going to help their cause. I think Jacksonville's back. They're on fire right now. They went to London. They found themselves. If this was back a few weeks ago, I might have picked the Saints. But I'm picking the Jaguars to win here in Week 7. And it looks like you guys agree with me on that one. So put you guys down for Jacksonville. And now let's see what Madden has to say for the first time in 3 weeks. Thursday night game. Remember, we are only doing 6-minute quarters. Keep the stream shorter. So yeah, remember, I have to back out. It's been a while since I've done this, so if it's a little weird, I apologize. Let's see what Men picks here. Pretty close one here. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, these are two pretty evenly matched teams for the most part. But anyways, here we go. 2:12 to play. A pretty exciting first game back, if you ask me. I mean, there's only 13 games instead of 16 because of 6 teams being gone by. So it can be a little bit more liberal with when we jump in. And here's a pass complete for a first down as he finds his running back out of the backfield, Travis Etienne. We've hit the 2-minute warning here. And now Lawrence out of the gun here. Still got Etienne flanking him. He's got protection, but he escapes or tries to escape, and he can't. And that'll be a sack for the Saints defense, as it's a loss of 3. So now 2nd and 13. Lawrence throws across the middle, caught, first down. And the Jaguars keep it moving as it's Christian Kirk, the former Cardinal, on the reception. Sorry for the random old team reference there. He did play for the Cardinals at some point. I do know that. So they're at midfield. The clock is ticking now, just over a minute. He heads it off to Etienne, and he only gets 4. They're going to need a little more than that to get within McManus's range here. He has drilled long field goals before. That was back when he was in Denver, though. And that's quite an easy place to kick. The Superdome, not so much. I mean, Greg the Leg Zerline did kick a couple 50-yard long field goals during the NFC Championship game here. I mean, he gets discredited for it because of the Nicole Roby-Coleman play. But anyway, 2nd and 6. Lawrence has to escape. He gets to the target line, I think that's what that line was. It was definitely not the first down because it's 3rd and inches. And he gets a timeout in. They still have 2 more, so it's not dire straits yet. They can possibly run the ball here and get the first down. Yeah, that's confusing. The dark line was the target line, and then there's like the light pink line. He's got the first down now. And a timeout. Now they're definitely in field goal range. This is about a 50-yarder. Madden only has his snap it back 7 yards, but IRL it's 8. Now they're going to come out. They're not going to mess around. It looks like they're going to try and eat some clock here. Even though they're not in a comfortable zone yet. 50 yards is still a long field goal. And ETN gets decked at the 30. This is about a 47-yarder now. Would expect them to use that timeout here and go for the win. They're lining up, and yeah, now smartly they use the timeout. I was thinking that was just Madden being Madden. They weren't going to actually let that clock run to triple zeros now, were they? And now let's see if the Saints use one of their timeouts to ice McManus. Tell you what, this would be a great start to the week if this actually happened. I mean, this might be one of the better Thursday night games so far this year. And there's the timeout from the Saints. I mean, yeah, all these other Thursday, besides week 1, all these other Thursday night games have been quite lopsided in the matchup. And that wasn't really a true Thursday night game. That's just a ring ceremony for Kansas City. And the Lions spoiled it. Anyways, the kick by McManus is good. And I believe there's still a second left on the clock. 2 seconds left on the clock. So they will have to kick it off, but it appears the Jaguars will be Madden's pick here for Thursday Night Football here tonight, here in Week 7. Still got to kick it off. Anything could happen here, though. We've seen it happen. Music City Miracle, IRL. We've also seen crazy stuff happen with kick returns of Madden. He kicks it, interestingly, kicks it deep. IRL, you expect a squib kick. And he's got a seam. Don't you see that? But he's tackled just shy of midfield. Oh, wow. He had one man to beat on the kickoff. That's why I said, don't cut out of this game just yet, because anything could happen. But at the end of the day, the Jaguars do still get the victory. And now I move on to our next game here, which is the Browns and Colts. You guys know I have a hard time picking against my team, and this is a game, quite frankly, the Browns should win. So nothing more needs to be said. I'm going with the Browns. You guys are going with me on that one. And especially without Anthony Richardson. He might still be in the game. I don't know if the roster's updated as of yet. I would hope they have. But we'll go ahead and see what Madden picks here. All right, Gardner Minshew. Oh, well, Madden does not seem to agree with us right now. Oh, maybe they do. Maybe they do. But here we are. We're going to get the jump in yet again. Actually, let's go past the 2-minute warning. Let's go past the 2-minute warning. There we are. We're past the 2-minute warning. So I go 3rd and 1 here. And this could potentially be a wrap. If Deshaun Watson get the first down. We don't know if he's going to play. It might be P.J. Walker again. There's Ford, and he's got the first, and that's all she wrote for this one. So Ben is going to pick the Browns in a close one against the Colts. So now next up, we got the Raiders and the Bears. Okay, well, this is a battle between two teams that I don't think that are good. I mean, I would have said they were bad, outright bad, but the Raiders have shown some life here in the last couple of weeks. I mean, they've beat up on bad teams. Well, I don't know if the Packers are all that bad. There's some unpredictability with some of these teams. And the Raiders, Packers, those are two teams that I feel like are unpredictable. But the Raiders are going up against I backed out on accident. The Raiders are going up against the Bears, who have been downright bad, except for when they played the Commanders a couple weeks ago. And that was a Thursday night game, and anything could happen on Thursday Night Football. So, what more do I need to say then? I'm going with my dad's favorite team, the Raiders. I have not seen what you guys picked. Did I miss adding a game on here by any chance? I thought I did not. Yeah, I did. Did I? Yeah, I skipped over Buffalo and New England. We'll get that one next. Actually, I'm going to have to adjust some things. Yeah, I made a couple mistakes here this week. One in the uh, okay, that should correct it. I mean, there's 6 teams on bye. Oh, yeah, because normally, yeah, okay. Okay. Now I see. All right. But anyways, we'll do this game because I already said we're doing this game. Actually, that Buffalo New England game, I have it in 4 slots away, so that will be the last of the 1 o'clock window. But yeah, I'm going with the Raiders. You guys are going with the Raiders, and let's see what Men has to say. We tend to randomize the weather. I mean, the first 2 games were played inside of domes. Some back and forth here. Yeah, the Raiders look to hold on, and they will do just that. As a clean sweep of picks here. The first 3 games, all clean sweeps. We're all in this together right now. And that's good for me. That means I maintain my lead if we go this way all the way down. It means I'm guaranteed to maintain my lead. You know what? Screw it. We'll do Buffalo and New England because otherwise I'll forget about it again. All right, so not much needs to be said here. The Bills are a good team. The Patriots are not. In fact, in TPS's power rankings, the Patriots are second to last. They are second to last, only in front of the Carolina Panthers, who are winless, and they will not be. They won't drop the 32 because the Panthers aren't playing this week. They can't get their first win. And as long as the Panthers remain winless, they will hold on to that 32 spot. But that means the Patriots are the worst team of the teams that have at least 1 victory. And the Buffalo Bills, they've struggled here in the last couple weeks. So, I mean, it shouldn't be so easy for me to pick them to win. But the Patriots are just bad. They are downright bad. And those first couple of decent performances against teams like the Eagles and the Dolphins, that was a mirage. So, it'd be wise to pick the Bills. I picked the Bills. And it looks, yeah, you guys picked the Bills too. So, Madden might think otherwise, though. And it might be right. You never know. So, let's see what Madden's opinion is. Look at that. 2-score lead for New England, according to Madden, here early on. And a 2-score lead here in the second half. And now 2-score lead in the fourth quarter. And now they win. they end up winning the game, according to Madden. So New England Patriots would get their first home win of the season if this happens. They would likely jump from 31 if that happened too. But I don't see any way that they go into Buffalo and they pick up that dub. Next game, Commanders at Giants. Matchup of two pretty darn bad teams here. So you got the Commanders and the Giants. The Giants put up more of a fight against the Bills than... Well, the Commanders did beat the Falcons, so... the Falcons aren't a great team. I don't know. This game could really go either way. When you have two bad teams, it's just as hard to pick when you have two good teams. Because it really could go either way. Giants, Commanders. Giants are the home team. They got Darren Waller. Daniel Jones might be able to drop a couple dimes if he actually tries. If he's even playing. I don't know if he is or not. I know a lot of Giants a lot of injuries for the Giants right now. Screw it. I'm going with the Giants. I don't know. I'm going with the Giants. I don't see how I could pick this game with like a reasonable making like which team is better. Because really it just feels like which team is worse. And I don't think either team is worse per se. I just think the Giants are at home. They should have the home field advantage. It's going to be a sloppy game. Then there's probably going to be not a whole lot of offense. But I think at the end of the day, the Giants do have the slight edge because of those things. You guys disagree with me for this one. This is our first disagreement so far between us. At least Man disagreed with us on the last game. Let's see. Will Man agree with me or y'all? So go ahead, super zip through. And yeah, this is pretty predictable. Very low scoring so far. Well, the Commanders just got a touchdown. Giants are in the lead here. The Giants have a lead, and here we go. Here we go. It's interesting here. Now the game's tied. 38 seconds left. We had quite a few close ones so far. Madden has not predicted a single blowout just yet. Oh, they're already in field goal range. Hand off to the X Factor Barkley, who breaks it for 11. Well, apparently Madden said he got all the way to the 22, so that was actually a 13-yard gain. A couple more runs like that, and it should be a comfortable field goal if they don't get the touchdown even. So I wouldn't bother getting the touchdown, but just take the chip shot field goal, go down in bounds, run that clock down. Barkley gets 4. Nobody's taking any timeouts here, so we'd assume that we're coming down to the final few seconds to see Graham Gano come out and kick the game-winning field goal. Timeout with 10 seconds left. I would have run it down a little more there. They could still run another play here with 10 seconds left. They do have the timeout in their back pocket as well. So they can run one more play if they want, set up where they want to tee up the field goal attempt. They're going to come out and just kick the field goal now. And now the Commanders are going to try and ice Gano. And they send Gano back out for a 35-yard or 36-yarder to win the game, well, potentially, and it's good. And they did leave 7 seconds on the clock. So they might even have to defend from scrimmage one play after the kickoff. That's why I was a little questioning of like why they only ran it down to 10 if they were actually going to run that clock down. Like, you think they'd run it down to like 5, kick that field goal. Now there's only 2 seconds left on that clock. And it's taken from the 1, and it's brought out. And they do have 3 seconds left. They do have to go. They do have to go all 75 yards. They're not kicking. They're definitely not kicking a 92-yard field goal attempt. That's what it would be from here, anyways. 92 yards. No kicker in the history of the NFL has ever. I don't think has ever been able to kick the ball 92 yards on a snap, and that's a awkward-looking pass. It is broken up at the last second. I thought it was caught. I was going to say, well, wow. But the Giants do come out with the victory, whether that was caught or not. According to Men is on my side for this one. So let's go ahead and jump into our next game, the Falcons at Buccaneers. So this would be the opportunity, according to me anyways, for the Buccaneers to extend their division lead, at least for now. I'm not sure how long that will last. They got the Atlanta Falcons, their division rival, struggling with Desmond Ridder. So we'll go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and pick the Buccaneers because that defense is it's still one of the better defenses in the NFL, despite the fact their offense is beginning to sputter. And I think against the Falcons, they'll find some success on offense too. So I'm going with the Buccaneers. It seems like you guys are going with the Buccaneers too. Did I put this game correctly? I did not, I believe. I believe Atlanta is the visiting team. I've made several mistakes so far today, quite frankly. Yeah, Atlanta would be the visiting team. So we'll go ahead and fix that. And yeah, that just makes it even more so that I would pick Tampa Bay to win this one. Alright, no, I didn't enter it into the spreadsheet yet. There you go. So go ahead, fast forward again. Falcons get a field goal. And another field goal. Seems to be all they're good at in this game. Then there's the touchdown. The Falcons get a touchdown, and they get another. Oh, there it is. Our first blowout for Ben in this stream. And wow. That was convincing. They must be convinced that we are wrong. Because it convincingly picked the Falcons. I mean, to be fair, it got 14 wins back in week 4. And it kind of laughed at us in the face. I mean, you guys only had 9. At least I got 11. But dang, man, made up some serious ground in week 4. So I'm not questioning it too much now. Not as much as I was back in week 1. So next we got the Detroit Lions at the Baltimore Ravens. And what is really our first marquee matchup of the stream. And looking ahead, I don't know. Well, there's the Dolphins and the Eagles. That's the only other one. I would say the Chargers and Chiefs, but the Chargers have shown their true colors right now, that they're not really going to contend. But of course, they could come out and be their contending selves against the Chiefs. But anyways, let's pick this game between the Lions and the Ravens. Wow, okay. This game could really go either way. However, the Ravens are coming off of their bye. Wait a minute. No. I'm thinking of the... Who was on their bye last night? It was not the... No, it was not the Ravens. It was the Steelers that were on the bye. Never mind. I was going to say, they're coming off their bye and they're hosting the Lions, so that would have been a huge advantage. But still, I think it's a huge advantage for the Ravens that they're home in this game. Their offense has generally been clicking. And I mean, of course, Jared Goff could put up some numbers. This game could be it could be a shootout, but the thing is that Ravens defense isn't terrible. I don't know much about the Lions defense. I'm still a little iffy about it. They did give up some points against Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers last week, the winless Carolina Panthers. So I hate picking my division rivals just as much as I hate picking against my team. But I do have to go with the Baltimore Ravens at home. I mean, if this game was at Ford Field, I might pick differently. I just might. But it looks like you guys... Hold on, I'm on the wrong screen here. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's why I don't assume. I thought... Okay, so you guys are going with Detroit, the Lions. I mean, I feel like the league does have quite a few Lions fans. So I shouldn't be too surprised, but... I'd be happy if the Lions won. I'd really, really, if I said the word dislike, I think it's an understatement. I hate the Ravens. Especially since that used to be the Browns, and then they took that franchise from Cleveland to Baltimore and won 2 Super Bowls. It will not be snowing this weekend in Baltimore. I can guarantee that, but that makes for a fun simulation, I guess. I mean, it's only mid-October. It's a little early for that. And yeah, the Ravens are just absolutely torching the Lions in this one. This would not be a surprising result to me. I mean, I don't expect it, but it wouldn't be surprising. I think the Ravens are the better team. I mean, there's a slight chance that the Lions could, with all of the talent that they have, push for a victory on the road, but I think that Ravens offense is going to be too much for the Lions, and Men is in agreement with me. I think the Lions score more than 10. I do think the Lions make some inroads, but it won't. It won't be enough to outscore the Ravens. I do expect a shootout. So now we got the Arizona Cardinals at Seattle Seahawks. Ever since that Week 3 upset of the Cowboys, the Cardinals have crashed back down to earth. They are now 30th again in TPS's power rankings. They were once 32, so that's still a step up for them, but it's back to reality for the Cardinals. And the Seahawks, they're back to glory. Except last week, they kind of shot themselves in the foot too many times and lost to the Bengals. And I had them beating the Bengals, and that was my downfall last week. Like I said, I don't like picking division rivals. And I thought the Seahawks genuinely had the opportunity to pull that off and really put the Bengals season back in danger. But the Bengals are, at least defensively, on track. I mean, their defense hasn't been too bad. Bengals aren't biased, so I can talk about them as much as I want right now. The Bengals defense has carried them throughout the years so far. Their offense is going to have to pick it up if they want to win more games. They were lucky to beat Seattle because Seattle did shoot themselves in the foot. But as far as the Seahawks go, they have a golden opportunity to just bounce back, an easy win, and I'm picking the Seahawks, and so are you guys. So let's get right to it and see what Madden has to say. This is our first of the 4 o'clock window, but it is a 1 o'clock local game for Seattle. So with it being out on the West Coast. So let's see what happens. Oh, wow. Arizona Cardinals at Luma Field. Potentially pulling off an upset. Well, now the Seahawks are back. Expect them to win, but they've been struggling here. And we have to jump in here for this one. Ben seems to think it will be a close game out here in Luma Field. Dobbs throws complete to the 30 to Zach Ertz. I'm sure Zach Ertz wishes he was back in Philadelphia. But nevertheless, still trying to pull out here for the Arizona Cardinals, and they're coming up under a minute here. They're going to have to hurry up. They do need a field goal to tie it. Another short completion and another first down, and now they will burn the timeout with 51 seconds left. That's a smart move. Try to get the yards where you can get them, but, I mean, you also got to hurry up. You got to, if you get tackled inbounds, you better hurry back to that line. You have everybody, offensive line, quarterback, any running backs that are in the backfield, sprint up to the line of scrimmage immediately. Madden doesn't seem to do a good job accounting for their speed, and that's not going to do it. It's a short gain of 3. That's not one you want. Seahawks will give you that all day, especially inbounds. So now we got a 2nd and 7 here, and now the clock's under 30 seconds. Pressure off the edge, it looked like, and he does get the first down. They're going to have to burn that final timeout. They're letting time come off the clock here. They're not using their timeout. And it looks like the Seahawks might just hold on because of some poor time, and now there's the timeout with 10 seconds left. You can't attempt the 67-yard field goal here. Justin Tucker stuck at a 66-yard record at Ford Field. Which way's the wind blowing, I don't know, but they're going to have to do a quick pass, get out of bounds, try to get 10 yards, try to at least make it a thinkable field goal here. Instead, he's going to go deep, and now there's only 5 seconds left after the incomplete pass. So now it's Hail Mary or bust, and it won't be a Hail Murray. That's for sure, because they don't have him. We've seen Kyler Murray pull it off before, but this is Josh Dobbs. Quick throw. Nope, it's going to be a long one. This is the game. Dobbs. This is to the end zone. It's broken up, and Seattle holds on. Oh, quite frankly, Seattle should have had an easy victory. But man thinks that it'll be a close one. With all due respect, anywho. So we'll move on to our next game. It'll be Pittsburgh Steelers at LA Rams. This is another interesting one. Not what I marked as a marquee matchup, but one that, I mean, if you guys know what standard deviation is, that means like if you're running a simulation like a million times, you'll see a very a wide spread of like the results from the average. That's what standard deviation is the average distance from the mean. For those of you who don't understand statistics. So the Steelers are the visiting team, but I do expect to see a lot of terrible towels there in LA because the Rams and the Chargers haven't done a good job solidifying their base in LA, and LA kind of became a city when there was no teams there. It kind of became a city where there was just like a hodgepodge of NFL fans. I mean, you would think they'd support the Chargers because the Chargers were in San Diego and they're SoCal. I don't know how they just don't have any fans there. Yeah. It's a little shocking to me, but this is against the Rams. There will be a lot of terrible towels waved. I mean, maybe it's because like the Rams and the Raiders were there until '94. But like in teams, like rather than remaining Rams or Raiders fans and turning to Chargers fans, they just decided to turn into whatever fans they wanted over time there in LA until the Rams showed up in 2016. So there will be quite a few terrible towels there. It will be quite loud when the Rams offense is on the field, but the Rams and the Chargers are quite used to that by now, I feel like. So I don't know if they'll play much of a factor in this game. So the Rams and the Steelers, gosh, which Steelers team shows up? Which Rams team shows up? They've been two of the more truly inconsistent teams this year. Like it's not like the Raiders where I'm talking like or excuse me, like the Saints and Derek Carr. Like I'm talking about, like he's just been mostly bad, but sometimes he does okay. No, like these two teams, they're either great or they're terrible. Um, jeez, whew. I hate the Steelers, and you know me, and that is going to be my justification for picking the Rams. But this game could truly go either way. It's like I almost had to pull a coin out for myself, but I did have that card where it was just like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going with my emotions on this one because my brain cannot help me decide here. And I mean, you guys picked the Rams too, but it was a slim vote. I mean, the five that picked it was 3-2. So that just tells you how this game could really go either way. So let's see what man has. Let's see what man has to say. It might be the least indecisive of all of us here. Maybe even it will be indecisive. Yeah, absolutely no score. And then the Rams get a field goal. That's what we expect. It's going to be the Rams offense versus the Steelers defense, I feel like, in this one. And I think the Rams offense is slightly better than the Steelers offense overall. Men decides that the Steelers are going to win. It is a close one. That wouldn't be that's what I'm expecting of this one. It will be a close game. Of course, we'll be rooting for the Rams as a Browns fan, so we need the Steelers to lose. But men picks the Steelers, and now we jump into our next game, which will be a slop fest between the Green Bay Packers and the Denver Broncos. So now Green Bay Packers, they're coming off their bye last week. They were one of two teams on their bye, next to the Steelers, of course. And then there's the Denver Broncos, who haven't been that great. I don't. Was that week 4? No, that was week 3. So I did cover the 70-point beatdown that the Dolphins put on the Broncos. But that still kind of sits somewhere in my mind. Like, they gave up 70. Like, how can I pick this team ever again? Maybe if they're playing the Panthers late in the year, I don't know. But they played the Bears and they beat them, so there's that. And the Bears beat the Commanders, so there's that. I mean, anything could happen. I don't think the Packers are that bad. They might not be great. Jordan Love might not be Aaron Rodgers or Brett Favre, but come on now. This is Denver. We're going with the Packers. And yeah, so are you guys. So again, another 1 o'clock local, even though it will be a late window game. So we'll go ahead and move forward. See, Russell Wilson could still be a decent quarterback in Denver. It's just he's going to have to outscore opponents constantly this year. And quite frankly, he's just not that guy anymore. But look at this. He is doing it in this simulation. And man is going to pick the Denver Broncos in convincing fashion here. Who would have thought? Who would have thought that would have happened? They're picking Denver Broncos to beat the Green Bay Packers. I mean, I guess it's a home game, baby. That's why. I don't know. But nevertheless, I think that's a surprising pick. So we'll go ahead and jump into our next game, the LA Chargers at Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, these two teams play. It's always interesting. The records don't seem to matter whatsoever. This is a rivalry game. The Chiefs have been mainly on top the last few years, but the Chargers refuse to quit. They refuse to go down easy. Both games last year were primetime. This one's not a primetime game, but it's close enough to it. It's a later window game. The Chiefs are in the Central Time Zone, so they could have had this game at 1 o'clock local, 12 Central. Well, 12 local for them. But no, it's close enough to a primetime game. I mean, the Chargers coming off of their primetime loss to the Cowboys, a short week, a lot of things working against them. Their head coach is just not good, not getting the job done. It's kind of screwing over their team, both on offense and defense. They have so much talent, and I feel bad. They're wasting it. A loss this week in Staley's career might be over. And I can't vouch for that, but I can vouch that the Chargers will most likely lose this week to the Chiefs. I mean, the Chiefs' defense this year is much improved. I'm surprised by how good this Chiefs defense has been this year. I thought their offense was going to take a step back, and then people were going to torch their defense. Neither one of those has happened. So yeah, the Chiefs are the new number one in the power rankings. I mean, shouldn't say new. They were number one going into the season, and then they lost to the Lions, and they've worked their way back into that number one spot. So I'm going with that number one team. I'm going with the Chiefs. I don't have too much of a reason to pick against them right now. Against the Chargers, who are just talented but dysfunctional, to say the least. And you guys are going with the Chiefs as well. I mean, if the good Chargers team shows up, there's a chance they could win. I'm not gonna vouch for that happening though. So this is a later window game. This will be the only time where we put 4:15, of course. All right, so let's forward through it here. Chiefs have a 7-0 lead, and now it's 14-0, and some back and forth defense here. The Chiefs defense holding up. The Chargers do score late in the third quarter, but they don't get the ball back, so they can't answer. Chiefs win according to Madden, and quite disappointing loss for the Chargers. Of course, that would be. And going into the season, I made the prediction that the Chargers were going to win the AFC West, but I mean, I've since realized that was wrong of me because they're just too dysfunctional from the front. Like, they have the talent, they just don't have the coaching to get it done. Put the right coaches in the right places on that team, and that team might just be unbeatable. But that's just not there for them. So we're into our final two games now. The Miami Dolphins at the Philadelphia Eagles. Two teams that are 5-1. One team that will have to take their second loss in this game. So Miami Dolphins, Philadelphia Eagles. The Dolphins have, of course, their high-powered offense, but it only seems to be super high-powered when they're playing bad defenses, and the Philadelphia Eagles do not have a bad defense. Their defense might not be the best in the league, but it is more than suitable to probably stopping this Miami offense, especially at home in a primetime setting. As you can see, Darius Slay is out there on the X Factor shutdown. He'll be him versus Tyreek Hill will be a very interesting matchup to watch all night long. But at the end of the day, the Dolphins don't have much of a defense, and the Eagles have, of course, with the assistance of the tush push, as it's called, where they push Jalen Hurts across. I mean, it only seems to work in Philadelphia. I mean, other teams have tried it and failed miserably at it. So the Eagles have a lot going for them right now, despite the fact they just took the loss to the Jets. But I think they bounce back here against Miami. Miami defense is not all that great. So let's move forward. 7-zip Philadelphia. Moving it back and forth here. 14-zip. And wow, they're just shutting down Miami right now. Then Miami does get a touchdown, but it's not going to be enough. It's the Eagles do win. I forgot to mention what you guys did. I mean, you guys did pick the Eagles as well, but it was close. It was split evenly, 3-2, or close as evenly, 3-2. So Eagles win according to Madden. And lastly, but not least, the San Francisco 49ers and the Minnesota Vikings. Of course, the 49ers coming off that loss to my Cleveland Browns. Oh, I'm sure you guys like a redo, huh? You like a redo of this. Okay, well, you guys don't get one. I'm sorry. For the loss. Not really. I'm not really sorry. I'm actually happy that it happened because that means my team won. And we're now 3-2 on the year. But we've already talked about my team, so let's go ahead and talk about this game here between two teams. Men has the Vikings at 85 overall. And I think that's an overstatement. They are not that good. Give me the 49ers to win this game. They got to be pissed off after that loss. And they're going to come out and they're going to give up another primetime slapping. Just like what happened to the Cowboys a couple weeks ago. You guys are with the 49ers as well. Oh, not to mention the Vikings are without Justin Jefferson. So that does not help their cause either. So how are they still 85 overall according to men? I don't know. This is at best an inconsistent team, and even if they're at their best, they're most likely not beating the 49ers, unless the 49ers are still all banged up from last week. But yeah, here we go with the 49ers. 49ers offense have already outscored their last week's total. And yeah, they do it pretty convincingly. The Vikings did hold on for one quarter, but that was it according to Madden. Oh, it took under an hour to get those games in. That was fast. I mean, I know it'd be shorter than our previous streams because this was 13 of 13. So normally we'd have 16 games without all those bye weeks, but we have 6 teams that are on bye. Next week we're back to 16 games briefly until we have teams on bye again in week 9. But that's it. That's it for this stream. It's a shorter one, so I apologize if you guys were looking forward to a longer one, especially after I've been gone for a while. And I also apologize that I've been gone for a while. That was pretty much out of my control. Especially for week 5. Week 6, we were already planning to go to Myrtle Beach, so I knew I wasn't going to make that happen anyways. Had I had access to my PS5, I would have potentially tried to do it like the Sunday before, but I don't know if that would have been worth it. I would have probably just replaced everyone anyways that I would have needed to replace. So, yeah, hopefully that won't happen again. Hopefully we'll be able to keep going the rest of the season. Make sure you guys get your picks in every single week when I post them. I do tag everyone in the League of Ordinary Gentlemen NFL Picks channel. I would like to see more people picking in the next few weeks. I mean, that would be ideal. Try to get everybody back on board. I kind of knew the hype would die down after the first couple weeks because there's diminishing marginal utility, which just means the more you're exposed to something, or the more you're exposed to something, the less you enjoy it. So there's that diminishing marginal utility might be coming into play here. So hopefully I can find some way to get you guys hyped back up again for men versus men. If there's any creative ideas that those of you guys that are watching, definitely let me know. I mean, it's something that I would like to get everybody back on board for, because I do enjoy doing this. I just don't want to do it if I'm doing it alone. But yeah, other than that, I got nothing else for now. This is your boy J-Bob signing off, saying see you next time from Men vs. Men. Have a great night, everyone, and enjoy Week 7.